Hunted human unlocks. Lost alien secrets to defy corporate tyranny in cosmic chase. Lizza Hayes snapped awake, her breath catching in the icy air of the Helios 9 station. A shrill alarm tore through the stillness, its wail bouncing off the frost-coated walls of her cryopod. Red warning lights pulsed, casting jagged shadows across the chamber. Her bio-implant screen, grafted to her left forearm, flared with data. Temperature, minus 15 degrees Celsius. Oxygen, 17%. Status, emergency. Damn it, she muttered, her voice rough, barely cutting through the fog of her exhale. 17 years in cryosleep had locked her joints stiff, each movement grinding like rusted gears. The faded logo of Cryosleep Solutions stared back from the pod's interior, a company long bankrupt, a relic of a world she'd left behind. She forced herself upright, the cold biting her bare feet as they hit the metal floor. Helios 9, a forgotten telecom outpost on the edge of Proxima Centauri, wasn't supposed to wake her like this. The plan had been simple: sleep until the rescue team arrived. But no rescue team was here, just the alarm, relentless, a creeping sense that something was very wrong. Lizza stumbled to the main console, her fingers trembling over keys slick with frost. The station's systems were barely online, screens flickering with static. "Display source," she commanded, her throat scratchy from disuse. The central monitor sparked to life, projecting a 3D map of the surrounding space. A single blip pulsed on the edge of the grid. A small object, its trajectory erratic, velocity dropping fast. Too small for a ship, not a probe. Something else. Low groan shuddered through the station, metal creaking as if struck. The impact wasn't catastrophic, but it was close. Auxiliary Bay 5C, per the damage report flashing across the screen. Lizza's hand instinctively went for her pulse rifle, the only personal item she'd brought into cryo-sleep. 17 years. With the United Space Force's Special Ops had wired her for moments like this, even if she was just a telecom engineer now. Abandoned on a derelict station, she checked the rifle's charge, its hum steady in her grip. The station's oxygen reserves were low, but her suit's tank would last an hour. Plenty of time to investigate. Or fight, if it came to that. The alarm kept blaring, but it wasn't the station's systems screaming. It was something external, tied to that blip on the radar. "Someone out there knows I'm here," she whispered, her words swallowed by the frigid air. "Question is, are they friend or foe?" Lizza moved toward the auxiliary bay, her boots clanging on the frozen deck. The station's corridors were a maze of cracked panels and exposed wiring, relics of a budget cut to oblivion. Emergency lights flickered, painting her path in crimson. Her bio-implant pinged, updating the object's status. It had breached the outer hull, lodging in 5C. No depressurization, no critical damage. Yet, she reached the bay's sealed door, its control panel barely functional. Her gloved fingers punched. In an override code, the mechanism grinding as it fought to obey. The rifle stayed raised, its targeting laser cutting through the dim. Whatever had crashed into her station wasn't human. She felt it in her gut, honed by years on the Maya frontier, where instincts meant survival. As the door hissed open, a faint vibration hummed in her skull. Not a sound, but a sensation, like fingers brushing the edges of her mind. It wasn't hostile, not exactly. It felt desperate, a plea, wordless but clear, echoing in her thoughts. Help. Lizza tightened her grip on the rifle, her heart pounding. The bay waited beyond, its shadows hiding whatever had called to her. She stepped forward, ready to face the unknown, her mind racing with one question. What the hell was out there, and why did it feel like it needed her? Lizza Hayes stood frozen at the threshold of Auxiliary Bay 5C, her pulse rifle humming in her grip. The door had slid open, revealing a jagged dent in the far wall where something had punched through Helios 9's hull. Crimson emergency lights danced across the bay, glinting off a shimmering pool of silvery liquid on the floor. At its center lay a creature, part jellyfish, part neural network, its translucent body pulsing with faint blue-green veins. It quivered, each glow dimming like a fading heartbeat. Her bio-implant pinged, unknown biological signature. Quarantine recommended. Lizza ignored it. 17 years in cryo-sleep hadn't dulled her instincts, honed in the chaos of the Maya. Frontier war. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't attacking. Not yet. She edged closer, rifle still raised, her boots crunching on frost-dusted metal. The creature's glow flickered, and that strange hum vibrated in her skull again, a wordless cry, raw with fear and solitude. It wasn't just a sound, it was a feeling, sinking into her bones. Her finger eased off the trigger. "What are you?" she whispered, crouching a few feet away. The creature's tendrils twitched, curling inward like a wounded animal. Up close, it was beautiful, delicate, almost fragile, its bioluminescence casting soft patterns on the bay's walls. But beauty didn't mean harmless. Lizza's training screamed at her. Isolate, report, neutralize if hostile. United Space Force protocol was clear about unknown life forms. But the Force hadn't come for her in 17 years. No one had. Thus its rules felt hollow out here, on the edge of Proxima Centauri, where the stars didn't care about regulations. She lowered the rifle, setting it beside her. "Okay, let's try this another way." Her gloved hand reached for the medkit in her suit's thigh compartment. The creature's glow pulsed brighter, as if sensing her intent. She popped the kit open, pulling out a basic biosealant spray and a scanner. The scanner hummed, its readings incoherent. Organic, non-hostile, but nothing matched known species. "You're hurt," she said, eyeing a gash in the creature's side where silvery fluid leaked. "I'm no doctor, but I can patch you up." She sprayed the sealant, the mist hardening into a clear film over the wound. The creature shuddered, its tendrils uncurling slightly. Then, without warning, a thin filament of light stretched from its body, brushing her ungloved hand. A jolt shot through her, electric and warm, racing up her arm and into her mind. Images flooded her vision. A planet, bathed in the glow of twin suns, crystalline towers piercing violet skies, and a wave of sorrow so vast it nearly choked her. A civilization gone, she gasped, yanking her hand back, the connection breaking. Her heart hammered as she stared at the creature, its glow now steady, stronger. "What the hell was that?" she rasped, steadying herself against the wall. "Though," creature's tendrils wavered, as if reaching for her again. That hum in her mind softened, no longer desperate, but grateful. It trusted her. She didn't know how she knew, but she felt it. Lizza's bio-implant chirped, pulling her attention to the console behind her. The radar screen flickered, a new blip pulsing at the system's edge. A ship, moving fast, its trajectory locked on Helios 9. No IFF signal, no hailing frequency, not a rescue team. Her gut twisted. Whoever they weren't here for her. She grabbed the rifle, eyes darting back to the creature. "You've got friends coming, don't you? Or enemies?" Its glow pulsed in rhythm with her words, as if it understood. The hum in her mind shifted, carrying a faint urgency. Danger. Lizza slung the medkit over her shoulder and knelt beside the creature. "If I'm saving you, we're moving. Now." She hesitated, then extended a hand. The creature's tendrils wrapped gently around her wrist, its touch warm despite the bay's chill. Her mind buzzed with a single, clear thought. Furry. That's what she'd call it. For now, as she helped Furry into a containment sling from the medkit, the radar blip grew closer, resolving into a sleek, angular vessel. Military grade. No markings. Lizza's jaw tightened. She'd seen ships like that before. Helix Dynamics, the kind of private military corps that didn't ask questions and didn't leave witnesses. The station's lights flickered, a distant clang echoing from the docking bay. They were all ready. Boarding. Lizza hoisted Furry's sling, her rifle ready. "Looks like we're in this together, kid." The creature's glow flared, and that hum in her mind sharpened, urging her to run. But to where? And from who? Lizza Hayes sprinted through the frost-choked corridors of Helios 9, the containment sling cradling Furry bouncing against her hip. The station's emergency lights pulsed red, casting her shadow in jagged streaks across the walls. Her pulse, rifle hummed in her grip, its targeting laser slicing through the dim. The radar blip from the incoming ship, Helix Dynamics, no doubt, had turned into a reality. Distant thuds echoed from the docking bay, followed by the screech of metal being forced apart. They were inside. "Move! Move! Move!" Lizza muttered, her breath fogging the air. Furry's bioluminescent glow pulsed in the sling, syncing with her racing heartbeat. That strange hum in her mind sharpened. Fear, not just hers, but Furry's. A shared panic that pushed her legs faster. The creature's tendrils curled tighter around the sling straps, as if it knew what was coming. Her bio-implant pinged, intruder alert. Docking bay compromised. No kidding. Lizza skidded around a corner, aiming for the auxiliary hangar where an old transport shuttle sat, half forgotten like the rest of this station. It was her only shot off this icebox. The clang of boots on metal rang out behind her. Too close. Helix wasn't wasting time. She ducked into a maintenance shaft, its narrow walls barely wide enough for her shoulders. Furry's glow dimmed, as if sensing the need for stealth. "Good call, kid," she whispered, crouching low. The hum in her mind shifted, carrying a flicker of trust. It was weird, feeling a creature's emotions like they were her own, but out here, weird was her new normal. A burst of static crackled through her comms, followed by a cold, clipped voice. "Hayes, we know you're here. Hand over the asset, and you walk away." The voice was unfamiliar, but the tone screamed corporate. Muscle, Helix's finest, probably. Lizza gritted her teeth. They knew her name. That wasn't good. She tapped her bio-implant, pulling up a station schematic. The hangar was 2 levels down, past a choke point in the main corridor. No way to avoid it. She adjusted Furry's sling, securing the creature against her chest, and checked her rifle's charge. Full. "All right, Furry. Time to run the gauntlet." Lizza burst from the shaft, hitting the corridor at a dead sprint. The air grew colder, the station's systems failing. Under the strain of the breach, she rounded the choke point and froze. 3 figures in black tactical suits stood at the far end, their rifles raised. Helix mercs, visors glinting under the flickering lights. "Drop it, Hayes!" one barked, his weapon trained on her. Lizza dove behind a bulkhead as a pulse round scorched the wall where she'd been. Her rifle snapped up, returning fire. 2 quick bursts that sent the mercs scrambling. But more were coming. She could hear them, their comms buzzing like hornets. Furry's glow flared, and a sudden warmth flooded her chest. The creature's tendrils writhed, weaving a shimmering cocoon of light around her. Another pulse round screamed past, but the cocoon deflected it, the energy dissipating in a burst of sparks. Lisa's jaw dropped. "You're full of surprises, aren't you?" The hum in her mind pulsed with urgency. "Go." She didn't argue. Lizza bolted for the hangar, the cocoon flickering but holding as stray shots grazed it. She slammed through the hangar doors, spotting the shuttle, a rusted hulk, but its engines were intact. She hoped. Lizza strapped Furry's sling into the co-pilot seat and powered up the controls. The shuttle groaned, its systems coughing to life. Through the viewport, she saw the mercs breaching the hangar, their rifles raised. No time for a clean takeoff. She punched the thrusters, the shuttle, lurching forward as pulse rounds pinged off its hull. The station's outer doors loomed ahead, half open. Lizza gritted her teeth, yanking the controls. The shuttle scraped through, metal screaming, and burst into the void. Stars spun outside, Proxima Centauri's red glow bathing the cockpit. They were out, but not safe. The shuttle's nav screen flickered, displaying coordinates to an unknown system. Coordinates Furry's glow seemed to pulse in time with. Lizza glanced at the creature, its tendrils curling toward the screen. "You trying to tell me something, kid?" Her bio-implant chirped. "Incoming vessel. 500 kilometers and closing." Helix wasn't giving up. Lizza's hands tightened on the controls, her mind racing. Furry had led them this far. But where the hell were they going? And why did it feel like the creature knew more than she did? Lizza Hayes gripped the shuttle's controls, her knuckles white as the rusty transport hurtled through the void. The cockpit's dim lights flickered, casting shadows over Furry, strapped into the co-pilot's seat. The creature's bioluminescent glow pulsed softly, its tendrils curling around the sling like it was holding on for dear life. Outside, the red haze of Proxima Centauri smeared across the viewport, a stark reminder they were far from home. The nav screen still blinked with those strange coordinates, pulsing in sync with Furry's light. Lizza didn't trust them, but she didn't have a better plan. Her bio-implant pinged, "Pursuing vessel, 300 kilometers, closing fast." Helix Dynamics wasn't letting up. The shuttle's engines groaned, pushed to their limit. But this bucket of bolts wasn't built for dogfights. Lizza's eyes flicked to Furry. "If you've got any more tricks, now's the time, kid." The creature's glow brightened, and that familiar hum buzzed in her mind. Calmer now, but laced with something new, curiosity. Lizza frowned, feeling a faint tug, like a memory that wasn't hers. Images flickered at the edge of her thoughts. Crystalline spires under twin suns, a sky alive with shimmering creatures like Furry. The Luminarids. She shook her head, trying to focus. "Not now, Furry. I'm kinda busy." But the hum deepened, insistent. Another image hit her, a vast network of glowing threads, pulsing with data, Furry at its center. A biological key, unlocking something. Ancient. Lizza's breath caught. This wasn't just a stray alien. It was built for a purpose. And Helix wanted it bad. The shuttle's comms crackled, snapping her back. A faint signal, barely audible, cut through the static. To unidentified. "Vessel, this is the Sanctuary Collective. We oppose Helix Dynamics. Offer asylum. Coordinates." The voice was female, steady but urgent. Lizza's jaw tightened. Asylum sounded good, but trust was a luxury she couldn't afford. Not after the Maya frontier, where allies turned to enemies over a single bad call. She tapped her bio-implant, amplifying the signal. The coordinates matched the ones on the nav screen, Furry's coordinates. Lizza glanced at the creature, its tendrils now stretching toward the console, glowing brighter. "You knew about this, didn't you?" The hum in her mind pulsed with affirmation, a flicker of trust. Furry wasn't just along for the ride, it was guiding her. Lizza hesitated, then locked in the coordinates. "All right, Sanctuary it is, but if this is a trap, we're screwed." The shuttle's engines whined as she adjusted course, the stars shifting outside. Her implant pinged. Again, "Pursuing vessel, 150 kilometers." Helix was gaining, their ship a sleek predator compared to her clunker. Furry's glow flared, and another memory hit her. Stronger this time. She was standing in a Luminarid city, watching it burn as a rift tore the sky apart. The sorrow was crushing, not hers, but theirs, a civilization lost to its own ambition. Lizza gasped, gripping the controls to steady herself. "What are you showing me?" The hum softened, carrying a sense of urgency. Learn. Understand. She didn't have time to process it. The nav screen sparked, projecting a holographic map, ADE star system with a single planet marked, orbiting a binary star. Furry's tendrils pulsed in rhythm with the map's glow, as if confirming it. "That's where we're going?" Lizza asked. The creature's light steadied, a silent yes. The comms crackled again. "Sanctuary Collective to vessel. We're scientists, not soldiers. Helix is after your cargo. We can protect it." Lizza's gut twisted. They knew about Furry. That was either a good sign or a death sentence. She opened a channel. "This is Hayes. Prove you're not Helix, or I'm gone." Before they could respond, her implant blared. "Pursuing vessel. 50 kilometers. Weapons lock detected." Lizza cursed, slamming the throttle. The shuttle lurched, alarms screaming as a missile warning flashed. No time to negotiate. No time to think. Furry's glow surged, flooding the cockpit with light. The hum in her mind roared. Urgent. Desperate. Jump. Lizza's eyes widened. The shuttle's hyperspace drive was a relic, barely functional, but Helix was seconds from blowing them apart. She punched the drive's activator, praying it wouldn't tear them to pieces. The stars blurred, reality twisting as the shuttle jumped. Lizza's stomach churned. Furry's glow the only steady thing in the chaos. The map still hovered. That binary system, their destination. But as the jump stabilized, a single question burned in her mind. Was she following Furry's plan, or walking into a trap set by someone else? Lizza Hayes clung to the shuttle's controls as it lurched out of hyperspace, the stars snapping back into focus. The cockpit shook, alarms blaring as the nav screen flickered wildly. Furry, strapped in beside her, pulsed with a steady bioluminescent glow, its tendrils curled tightly around the sling. Outside, a jagged asteroid field stretched across the viewport, chunks of rock glinting under the faint light of a distant binary star. The coordinates Furry had fed into the system had brought them here. But Lizza's gut screamed this wasn't a safe haven. Her bio-implant pinged. No pursuing vessels detected. Helix's ship hadn't followed through the jump. Yet. But Lizza knew better than to relax. "Nice move, kid," she muttered, glancing at Furry. The creature's glow flickered, the hum in her mind carrying a faint sense of caution. It was as uneasy as she was. The shuttle's sensors beeped, mapping the asteroid field. Most of it was dead rock, but one signal stood out, a faint energy signature from a massive asteroid dead ahead. Lizza frowned, adjusting the scanners. "What's that, Furry? Your next stop?" The creature's tendrils pulsed in rhythm with the signal, confirming her hunch. Whatever was out there, Furry wanted her to find it. Before she could plot a course, the sensors screamed, "Multiple contacts, 10 kilometers, closing fast." Lizza's heart sank. Drones, 6 of them, sleek and angular, their hulls marked with Helix Dynamics insignia. They'd been lying in wait, cloaked among the asteroids. "Ambush," she growled, slamming the throttle. The shuttle groaned, dodging a rock the size of a house as the drones opened fire, pulse rounds streaking through the void. Lizza's combat instincts kicked in, honed from years in the Maya frontier war. She yanked the controls, weaving the shuttle through the asteroid field, debris pinging off the hull. Furry's glow surged, and a sudden clarity sharpened her reflexes. Her mind felt faster, her movements precise. The hum in her head pulsed with focus, like Furry was boosting her. "Keep that up," she said, banking hard to avoid a barrage. The TIE drones were relentless, their AI-driven patterns cutting off her escape routes. One clipped the shuttle's wing, sending it into a spin. Lizza cursed, fighting to stabilize. "We're not dying here!" She fired the shuttle's outdated cannons, clipping a drone in a burst of sparks, but the others adjusted, closing the net. They were herding her toward the massive asteroid. Furry's tendrils flared, and the hum in her mind shifted. Urgent, directive. There. An image flashed, a dark crevice on the asteroid's surface, barely wide enough for the shuttle. Lizza gritted her teeth. You better be right. She dove for it, pulse rounds grazing the hull as the drones pursued. The crevice loomed, a tight squeeze. Metal screamed as the shuttle scraped through, plunging into darkness. The drones didn't follow. Lizza exhaled, her hands shaking on the controls. The shuttle's lights revealed a vast cavern inside the asteroid, its walls shimmering with crystalline veins. Luminarid tech, just like Furry's memories. At the cavern's center sat a sleek alien structure, its surface pulsing with the same blue-green light as Furry. An outpost. Furry's glow erupted, tendrils stretching toward the structure. The shuttle's console sparked, hijacked by an external signal. A holographic map materialized, showing a network of connection points across the galaxy. Interdimensional gates, tied to the Luminarid's fall. Lizza's breath caught. This is what Helix wants, isn't it? The hum in her mind pulsed with dread, confirming her fear. She guided the shuttle to a landing platform, the outpost's systems humming to life as Furry's light synced with them. But her implant pinged. Large vessel entering system. The nav screen zoomed out, revealing a Helix destroyer, its weapons hot, bearing down on the asteroid. Worse, a name flashed on the intercepted comms. Commander Marcus Reed. Lizza's blood ran cold. Reed, her old mentor, the man who'd trained her, left her to rot on Helios 9. He was leading the hunt. "Why you, Marcus?" she whispered, her voice tight. Furry's glow dimmed, the hum in her mind heavy with warning. The destroyer was minutes away, and Reed wasn't coming to talk. Lizza unstrapped Furry, her mind racing. The outpost held answers. Maybe a way to fight back. But with Reed closing in, time was running out. What did he know about Furry? And why was he calling her name? Lizza Hayes stepped onto the glowing platform of the Luminarid outpost, her boots echoing in the cavernous chamber. Furry, cradled in its sling, pulsed with bioluminescent light, its tendrils twitching toward the alien structure at the center. AE. Sleek, crystalline console etched with patterns that seemed to shift under her gaze. The air hummed with latent energy, the walls of the asteroid cavern shimmering like a living circuit. Her bio-implant pinged. Unknown energy signature. Caution. Advised? No kidding. This place was beyond anything she'd seen. Even in the Maya frontier, her pulse rifle stayed raised, though the outpost felt more like a tomb than a threat. Furry's glow surged, and that familiar hum in her mind sharpened. Eager, almost impatient. "Easy, kid," Lizza muttered, glancing at the creature. "Let's not wake anything we can't handle." But Furry's tendrils stretched toward the console, urging her forward. Whatever this place was, it wanted Furry here. She approached the console, its surface cool under her gloved hand. The moment Furry's light touched it, the chamber erupted in color. Holographic projections flared, painting the air with scenes of a lost world. Lizza's breath caught as she was pulled into a vision. A Luminarid city under twin suns, its crystal towers alive with glowing creatures like Furry. Then, chaos. A rift tore the sky, reality fracturing as the city burned. The sorrow wasn't just seen, she felt it, a crushing weight of a civilization's end. Her knees buckled, the vision fading as she gripped the console. "What the hell was that?" she gasped, her heart pounding. Furry's hum softened, laced with grief. The console pulsed, feeding her fragments of data through their bond. The Luminarids had built the connection points, gates to other dimensions, but one misstep had unleashed a catastrophe, wiping them out. Furry was their legacy, a key to their tech, meant to preserve or warn. Lizza's implant chirped, snapping her back. Incoming transmission. The Sanctuary Collective's signal came through, faint but clear. "Hayes, this is Dr. Mara Voss. We're approaching your position. Helix is after the bio-key. We can help." Lizza's jaw tightened. The scientists had tracked her, just like Helix. Trust was a gamble, but she was running out of options. "Prove you're not Helix," she shot back, her voice sharp. Voss's reply was steady. "We're exobiologists, not mercs. Helix wants to weaponize your friend. We want to protect it." Furry's glow flickered, the hum in her mind wary, but not hostile. It didn't trust Voss either, but it wasn't panicking. Lizza glanced at the console's holographic map, still active, marking connection points across the galaxy. If Helix got Furry, they'd unlock this tech, and maybe repeat the Luminarid's mistake. "All right, Voss," she said. "Dock at the asteroid's northern crevice. I'll meet you. But one wrong move, and we're gone." The scientist's ship appeared on her implant's radar, a clunky research vessel, no weapons. They were either genuine or playing a hell of a con. Lizza slung Furry closer, its light syncing with her heartbeat. "You're the key to all this, aren't you?" she whispered. The hum pulsed with affirmation, but something else crept in. A faint discord, like a shadow in Furry's thoughts. Her implant pinged again. Anomalous signal detected. Lizza froze, scanning the chamber. The console's map flickered, highlighting a faint transmission from the scientist's ship. A coded pulse, too subtle for standard sensors. A tracker. Someone on Voss's team was signaling Helix. Lizza's grip tightened on her rifle. Damn it. The scientists were her only allies, but one of them was a traitor. She backed away from the console, Furry's glow dimming as if sensing her dread. The hum in her mind sharpened. Danger. Voss's ship was minutes from docking, and Helix wouldn't be far behind. She had to confront the scientists, find the EE mole before it was too late. But as she moved toward the crevice, a single question burned. Who was betraying her? And how much did they know about Furry's power? Lizza Hayes crouched behind a crystalline pillar in the Luminarid outpost, her pulse rifle trained on the docking crevice where the Sanctuary Collective's ship had just landed. Furry, nestled in its sling against her chest, pulsed with a faint bioluminescent glow, its tendrils twitching with unease. The hum in her mind buzzed with a sharp edge. Distrust, mirroring her own. Her bio-implant had caught a coded signal from the scientist's ship, a tracker beacon screaming for Helix Dynamics. Someone on Dr. Mara Voss's team was a traitor, and Lizza wasn't about to let them get the drop on her. The crevice hissed open, and 3 figures in enviro suits stepped into the cavern, their lights cutting through the dim. Voss, a wiry woman with sharp eyes, led the group, flanked by a nervous-looking tech and a broad-shouldered man whose posture screamed ex-military. Lizza's implant tagged him, elevated heart rate, inconsistent with baseline. He was the mole. She'd bet her rifle on it. "Hayes, we're here," Voss called, her voice steady but cautious. "Where are you?" Lizza stayed low, Furry's glow dimming as if it sensed her need for stealth. The hum in her mind pulsed with a warning. Now. She stepped out, rifle raised, aiming at the ex-military guy. "Hands up, all of you. Your buddy's been chatting with Helix." The tech gasped, but Voss's eyes narrowed. "Kale, what's she talking about?" The big man, Kale, froze, his hand inching toward his belt. Lizza fired a warning shot, the pulse scorching the floor at his feet. "Don't!" she snapped. "I know you're signaling Reed. Spill it, or the next one's not a miss." Kale's face twisted, and he lunged, pulling a concealed plasma knife. Lizza dodged, but not fast enough. The blade grazed her side, searing through her suit. Pain flared, hot and sharp. Furry's glow erupted, and the creature moved, its tendrils unraveling from the sling, reshaping into a humanoid form, fluid and glowing. It tackled Kyle, pinning him with unnatural strength, its light blinding. The tech screamed, and Voss drew a stun pistol, hesitating. "Stand down!" Lizza barked, clutching her side. Blood seeped through her fingers, her vision swimming. Furry's hum roared in her mind. "Protect!" The creature's form stabilized, its glowing eyes locked on Kyle, who writhed under its grip. Voss lowered her weapon, her face pale. Kale's with Helix. I didn't know. Lizza staggered, her implant flashing. Critical injury detected. She needed a medkit. Fast. Furry's humanoid form shifted, tendrils wrapping around her wound, secreting a cool, silvery gel that dulled the pain. Her vitals stabilized, the hum in her mind softening with relief. "Thanks, kid," she rasped, staring at Furry's new form. It was evolving, and their bond was deeper than she'd realized. Voss stepped forward, hands raised. "We're not your enemy, Hayes." Kyle was a plant. Helix paid him to track the bio-key. Liz's eyes flicked to the tech, who was trembling but clean according to her implant. "Prove it," she said, nodding at Kale. "Get his comms." Voss pried a micro-device from Kale's suit, its signal still pinging Helix. Lizza crushed, it under her boot. "We're leaving. Now." Furry reverted to its jellyfish-like form, tendrils curling back into the sling. The hum pulsed with urgency. Vault. An image flashed in her mind. A hidden chamber deeper in the outpost, holding Luminarid secrets. Lizza led the group to a sealed hatch, Furry's light activating its controls. The hatch opened, revealing a chamber lined with glowing data crystals. Furry interfaced with a central node, projecting a hologram. The connection points were interdimensional gates, and Helix's experiments were destabilizing one nearby, risking a reality-shattering rift. Lizza's blood ran cold. They're repeating the Luminarid's mistake. Her implant blared, "Hostile vessel, 50 kilometers." Helix's destroyer, led by Commander Marcus Reed, was here. A comms channel crackled, Reed's voice cutting through. "Lizza, you can't run forever. Give me the key, or I burn that rock to ash." His tone was cold, personal. He'd trained her, shaped her, then left her to rot. Now he wanted Furry. Lizza glanced at Voss, who nodded grimly. They had to move. Furry's glow flared, the hum urgent. Escape. But Reed's ship was closing, and his threat was real. Could she trust Voss to get them out? Or was this just another trap? Lizza Hayes stood in the glowing vault of the Luminarid outpost, her pulse rifle slung across her back, and Furry's bioluminescent form pulsing in its sling against her chest. The chamber's crystalline walls hummed with ancient energy. Data. Projections flickering with warnings about the connection points. Interdimensional gates that had doomed the Luminarids. Her bio-implant flashed. Hostile vessel, 20 kilometers, weapons armed. Commander Marcus Reed's Helix destroyer was closing in, and his voice still echoed from the comms. "Surrender, Furry, or die." Dr. Mara Voss, now cleared of suspicion, worked frantically at a data node, her tech assistant patching into the vault's systems. "We can amplify the outpost signal to warn Earth," Voss said, her voice tight. "Helix's experiments are destabilizing a connection point. If it opens, reality could fracture." Lizza's jaw clenched. She'd seen the Luminarids frequently fall through Furry's memories, a rift tearing their world apart. She wasn't about to let humanity follow. Furry's glow surged, its tendrils interfacing with the node, boosting Voss's efforts. The hum in Lizza's mind was clearer now. A stream of complex thoughts, fear, resolve, and a vivid image of a crystalline temple in a distant system, the key to sealing the gates. "That's our next stop, isn't it?" Lizza whispered. Furry's light pulsed in affirmation, the hum laced with urgency. "Hurry!" Lizza's implant pinged, pulling up a schematic of the vault. A hidden shuttle bay lay nearby, a Luminarid craft still operational. It was their ticket out, if they could reach it. She turned to Voss. "How long to send the warning?" Voss's fingers flew over the controls. 2 minutes, but Helix will intercept it." Lizza nodded grimly. "Do it. I'll buy us time." She moved to the vault's entrance, rifle ready, Furry's glow syncing with her heartbeat. Their bond had evolved. She could sense its thoughts, not just emotions. It was scared, but determined, trusting her completely. That trust hit harder than any pulse round. After years of losing everyone on the Maya frontier, having something rely on her felt like a lifeline. The signal went live, a burst of data screaming toward Earth. Connection point destabilization imminent. Helix Dynamics responsible. Lizza's implant caught the transmission's echo, but a new alert flared. Signal intercepted. Hostile vessel deploying drones. Helix wasn't just closing in. They were jamming the warning. Voss cursed, slamming the console. They've got a counter-signal. Earth won't hear us. Lizza's mind raced. The Luminarid shuttle was their only shot. But Reed's drones would be on them the second they left the vault. She glanced at Furry, its tendrils pulsing with a new intensity. The hum flooded her with a memory. Not hers, but a Luminarid's, a scientist sealing a gate as their world collapsed, sacrificing everything to protect the universe. "Voss, get to the shuttle bay," Lizza ordered. "Furry and I will hold the entrance." The scientist hesitated, then nodded, grabbing her tech and sprinting for the bay. Lizza knelt by the vault's door, Furry's light casting eerie shadows. The hum sharpened. Fight. She felt its strength flow into her, steadying. Her aim. Drones buzzed into the cavern, their pulse cannons charging. Lizza fired, dropping one in a shower of sparks, but more poured in. Furry's tendrils flared, weaving a shimmering shield that deflected a barrage. Her implant screamed, "Hostile vessel, 5 kilometers." Reed's destroyer was practically on top of them. The vault's console sparked, Voss's voice crackling through. "Shuttle's online! Move!" Lizza fell back, Furry's shield holding as she ran. But her implant caught a new transmission. Reed's voice, cold and taunting. "You can't save it, Lizza. The key's mine." He was too close, too personal. He knew her, and that made him dangerous. As she reached the bay, the Luminarid shuttle gleamed under Furry's light, its engines humming. Voss waved her aboard, but the drones were closing, and Reed's ship loomed on the scanners. Furry's hum pulsed with a desperate vision, the temple, glowing with power to stop the gates. They had to reach it, but could they outrun Reed? Or was he already one step ahead? Lizza Hayes gripped the controls of the Luminarid shuttle as it streaked toward the crystalline temple, its spires glinting under the light of a binary star. Furry, nestled in its sling, pulsed with bioluminescent intensity, its tendrils weaving patterns that synced with the temple's glowing walls. The shuttle's cockpit hummed with alien tech, its displays projecting a map of the connection points, gates that could unravel reality. Her bio-implant pinged. "Hostile vessel, 100 kilometers, closing." Commander Marcus Reed's Helix destroyer was on their tail, and he wasn't here to negotiate. Dr. Mara Voss, strapped in behind, monitored the temple's energy readings. "It's active," she said, her voice tense. "The core can seal the connection point, but we need the bio-key." Lizza glanced at Furry, its glow brighter than ever. The hum in her mind was a torrent now. Resolve, fear, and a clear directive. Connect. This temple was their last stand. The shuttle docked in a cavernous bay, its walls pulsing like a living heart. Lizza stepped out, rifle ready, Furry's light casting shadows across crystalline arches. The air thrummed with power, guiding them to the temple's core, a towering node of light and crystal. Furry's tendrils stretched toward it, and the hum flooded Lizza with a vision. A Luminarid sealing a gate, their mind merging with their bio-key to stabilize reality. She'd have to do the same. "Voss, guard the entrance," Lizza ordered. The scientist nodded, her stun pistol drawn, and took position with her tech. Lizza approached the node, Furry's glow merging with its light. The connection hit like a shockwave, her mind flooded with the Luminarid's collective memory, a chorus of voices, hopes, and regrets. She saw their cities, their dreams, their end. Tears stung her eyes, but she held focus. "Show me how to close it," she whispered. The node responded, projecting a holographic rift, a connection point destabilizing nearby. Helix is doing. Furry's hum guided her, its thoughts intertwining with hers. She could shut the gate, but it'd take everything. Her will, Furry's power, and a risk of losing herself in the merge. Her implant blared. Hostile vessel. 10 kilometers. No time. To hesitate. Footsteps echoed. Reed and his mercs, breaching the temple. Lizza spun, rifle up, as Reed stepped into the chamber, his gray eyes cold. "Lizza, always stubborn," he said, his pulse cannon aimed. "The key's mine. Those gates are humanity's future." His mercs fanned out, pinning Voss and her tech. Lizza's heart pounded. Reed, her mentor, had shaped her, then abandoned her. Now he was ready to kill. "They're a death sentence," she shot back, Furry's glow flaring. "You saw the data. The Luminarids died for this." Reed's face hardened. "They were weak. We won't be." He nodded, and a merc fired. Lizza dove, Furry's tendrils weaving a shield that absorbed the shot. The hum roared. "Speak." Lizza stood, Furry's light enveloping her, amplifying her voice. "Crew of Helix, listen!" she shouted, her words echoing with unnatural clarity. "Reed's chasing power, but the gates will destroy us. I have seen it. Through the key. Stand down, or you're complicit in extinction." The mercs hesitated, their visors hiding doubt. Reed's jaw twitched. "She's lying. Secure the key." Furry's glow surged, projecting the Luminarid's fall. Cities crumbling, skies torn, across the chamber. The mercs faltered, some lowering their weapons. Lizza's implant screamed, rift activity increasing. The connection point was opening, reality fraying. She felt it, a cold alien presence stirring beyond the gate, hungry and vast. Lizza turned to the node, Furry's hum urging her to merge. Reed roared, charging, but Voss tackled a merc, buying seconds. Lizza touched the node, her mind linking with Furry's. Their thoughts became one, a shared strength. The gate's energy surged, but so did the alien presence, its shadow creeping into her mind. Could she close it before it broke through? Or was she already too late? Lizza Hayes stood at the heart of the Luminarid temple, her mind entwined with Furry's as they merged with the crystalline node. The chamber pulsed with blinding light, Furry's bioluminescent glow fusing with the temple's energy. Reality warped around them, colors bled, sounds distorted. As the connection point's rift tore wider, a yawning void threatening to swallow everything. Her bio-implant screamed, "Critical rift activity, collapse imminent." Beyond the gate, an alien presence pressed against her thoughts, cold and infinite, whispering chaos. She had to close it now. Furry's hum was no longer separate. It was her, their consciousness a single stream of will and memory. She saw the Luminarid's final moments, felt their resolve as they sealed their gates, sacrificing themselves. "We can do this," Lizza whispered, her voice echoing in their shared mind. Furry's light surged, its tendrils weaving through the node, guiding her to stabilize the rift's energy. But the alien presence pushed back, its shadow clawing at their bond, sowing doubt. "You will fail." Commander Marcus Reed charged through the chaos, his pulse cannon raised, mercs at his heels. Dr. Mara Voss and her tech fought back, stun pistols flashing, but they were outmatched. Lizza's focus wavered. Reed was seconds from reaching her. Furry's voice, now clear in her mind, urged her. "Hold!" She poured her strength into the node, the rift's edges flickering as they began to contract. Reed fired, the pulse grazing, her shoulder searing pain breaking her focus. The rift pulsed, the alien presence surging. Lizza screamed, but Furry's light enveloped her, dulling the pain, their bond a lifeline. "Not yet," she growled, slamming her will back into the node. The mercs hesitated, their resolve shaken by the temple's projections of the Luminarid's fall, still looping across the walls. One dropped his weapon, then another. Reed roared, "Cowards! Secure the key!" Lizza's voice, amplified by Furry, cut through. "You're killing us all, Reed. The gates aren't power. They're extinction." The node flared, the rift shrinking, but the alien presence lashed out, a psychic blow that nearly shattered her. Furry took the brunt, its glow dimming, the hum faltering. "Stay," it pleaded, weak but defiant. Voss tackled Reed, knocking his cannon aside. The remaining mercs stood down, their visors reflecting fear. Lizza seized the moment, merging deeper with Furry. Their shared mind burned with purpose. Luminarid, knowledge, human grit. The rift's edges fused, the alien presence screeching as it was forced back. With a final surge, the gate sealed, the temple's light stabilizing. Reality snapped back, the air still. Lizza collapsed, Furry's glow faint, its tendrils trembling. Her implant stabilized. Rift activity null. They'd done it. Reed, disarmed and pinned by Voss, glared, but said nothing. His crew, now defectors, secured him. Voss rushed to Lizza, medkit in hand. "You're insane, Hayes, and brilliant." Weeks later, Lizza stood before Earth's council. Furry perched on her shoulder, its light steady but weaker. The temple's data, relayed by Voss, had convinced them. Helix's experiments were shut down, Reed imprisoned. Lizza spoke, Furry's glow amplifying her words. "This bio-key isn't a weapon. It's a bridge to understand life beyond us. We protect it, or we're no better than those who fell." The council agreed, granting Furry sanctuary. But its hum, now faint, carried a warning. Other connection points existed, dormant but vulnerable. Lizza felt it too, a pull to find them, to guard against the shadows beyond. She and Furry boarded a new ship, Voss at their side, heading for the next set of coordinates Furry projected. As the stars streaked past, Lizza touched Furry's tendrils, their bond unbroken. "We're not done, are we?" The creature's glow pulsed, the hum soft but clear. Never. The galaxy held more gates, more secrets, and whatever waited, they'd face it together. But what lay beyond the next rift, and would their bond be enough to hold it back?